Get down, get down.
I was ordering some materials from someone in Ohio and they kept laughing at me and I didn't understand why. They thought I was making up an accent.
You can't make that up, Sean.
I'm not kidding. Years in bars in Salton, Dorchester Avenue.
You guys ready to go?
Yes.
All right.
Just for the record, I've been sworn in.
Bob's not here yet.
Congratulations. I've been looking up. Here's Bob. I was looking for him. I wanted to make sure he was here before we started.
Okay.
All right. The January 11th, 2020 meeting of the Yarmouth Old Kings Highway Historical District Committee is about to convene. As a precautionary measure to reduce the spread of coronavirus, this meeting will be held by remote participation. My name is Grace Rogers and I'm the office administrator and will be serving as moderator for this virtual meeting. I will now turn it over to the committee chair.
Good evening. My name is Richard Gegenwath, and I'm the chairman of the Old Kings Highway Historic District Committee for the town of Yarmouth. I will begin by taking a roll call to see if we have a quorum. Bob Wilkins.
Here.
Rosemary Nichols.
Here.
Paula Morrison.
Here.
John Stewart.
Here.
Good. So Zoom is set up as the women are. Okay. A note just came through my screen. So since we have a quorum present, I will call this meeting to order, which is about 17 minutes after 7. And I will ask the moderator to explain how the remote participation will work before we proceed further. So Grace, if you would do the honors.
Thank you, Richard. Pursuant to Governor Baker's March 12, 2020 order suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law, this meeting of the Yarmouth Old Kings Highway Historic District Committee is being conducted via remote participation. No in-person attendance will be permitted, but every effort will be made to ensure that the public can adequately access and participate in the proceedings as provided for in the order. Persons who would like to view this meeting while in progress may do so by joining the virtual meeting as an attendee or the live feed on the Town of Yarmouth YouTube channel. You may also listen to the meeting by dialing into the number provided on the notice of meeting. The meeting will also be posted on the Town of Yarmouth YouTube channel for future viewing. Please be patient as we work to overcome any technological challenges with the virtual meeting. For all meetings, all audience participants enter the virtual meeting muted. Participants will be unmuted when called upon to speak by the chair or moderator. If you are not speaking, please mute yourself to avoid unnecessary background noise. Clearly state your name each and every time prior to speaking. Do not use speakerphone or Bluetooth devices when speaking. All votes must be roll call votes. After a motion is made and seconded, the chair will ask for a roll call vote. For applicants and presenters can use the raise hand button or press *9 on their phone to identify themselves to the chair. The moderator will unmute applicants and presenters when they are called upon to speak during the portion of the meeting. Applicants shall identify themselves by first and last name and affiliation. Applications or presentations provided by the applicant will be displayed by the moderator only if asked to do so. If it appears the meeting cannot or should not proceed, then the moderator will recommend that the chair request to continue the hearing to a later date and time. Public comment. During the portions of the hearing designated for public comment, the chair will ask if anyone in the audience has any questions or comments relating to the item being heard. Members of the public may request to speak by selecting the raise hand button or *9 on their phone and waiting for the chair to call on them to speak. Members of the public recognized by the chair are asked to identify themselves by first and last name and affiliation for the public record, and then provide their comment. I'm now handing the meeting back to the chair. Thank you.
Thank you, Grace. There are now 6 new applications for certificates of appropriateness, and they will be heard in the order that was listed on the agenda. In addition, there are 2 items which have been carried over from the previous meeting. They'll be heard after the first 6. Please be reminded that our committee's main purpose is to review items for appropriateness and setting, and it's the responsibility of the applicant to comply with the regulations of other town boards and departments, including the building department, conservation, engineering, health, zoning, and the sign inspector. You should know that there is a 10 calendar day appeal period starting once a decision is filed with the town clerk. Any person aggrieved by our decision tonight can appeal to the Regional Commission of the Old Kings Highway. Our office administrator will be happy to answer any question you have with respect to that process. The first item this evening then is concerned with installation of rooftop solar panels and an energy storage system at 45 Camelot Road. William Corcoran is the owner. Sunrun Installation Services, namely Stephen Kelly is the agent, would be representing them. So do we have either Mr. Corcoran or Kelly here this evening?
We do. I'll promote them both to panelists. I see Steve Kelly's here. It's going to take a minute to rejoin the meeting.
Do we have elevations on this application? I wasn't able to find any.
Oh, hold on. I do definitely have them. They were sent.
There are, I'm not sure if they're here. I came across them I was looking up something else and all the pictures were at this other site. Let me see what I was doing.
I have them here for you all.
You got them all there?
I do. And I'm
Okay,
apologies about
good.
that. I don't know why they
Yeah,
weren't in the.
'cause I was looking at, wasn't that? It might have been item 4. And when it got to the bottom, it had all the pictures for item 1.
Oh, I'll have to fix that.
There you go.
Scan them in improperly.
Yeah, so this is on the back of the house. The roadway is out front.
Mr. Kelly, if you unmute yourself, you'll be able to speak.
Hi, I'm trying to use my phone as well as the computer.
We can hear you.
Thank you.
So you're using 305 watt units. I wondered why you weren't using 360.
I think it's the availability of the black on black panels. What we're able to source.
So a lot of manufacturers make them up 360 nowadays.
No, there's a whole bunch of them. But it
Because
depends on how they're able to wire them and group them. And we know that you like the black on black.
Right. Well, these other ones are all black and black too. You could save yourself about 20% in terms of the roof coverage. They are all in the back. Now, this also has a battery pack, which goes in the basement, I take it.
It may be in the garage.
Hangs on the wall.
Correct.
So,
can't be seen from the street, so,
No,
then I would move to approve this application.
Could I speak?
Yes.
Yes. Wanna
Oh,
speak
John,
also?
go ahead.
No,
go ahead, Bob.
Paula, you go first. Ladies first.
Thank you. So I drove down Old Church Road today, and everything on the dormers look fine, but you can see the last bit on the left, on the more slanted roof from Old Church Street, and probably because it's winter, but you can see that section from Old Church Street.
Oh, so you went down around the corner?
I went down to the other side just so if you could see it from the other street. And the part that's on the dormer in back is fine. But that 5-piece section, which is the top section on this diagram, you can see that part. That's the back of the garage, I think, or whatever it is. But
right.
you can see that section from Old Church Street, Old Church Road.
That was precisely the point I was going to make, Paula. It's fine that it can't be viewed from the street that the house officially is designated for, but from the streets on the opposite side, you can view the panels.
Yes.
Some of them.
Just that part, though. Would you agree with that, Bob?
Yes.
Because the other part's on top of the dormer.
Yeah, I tried to take a ride by, but I didn't get the opportunity.
I mean, as I said, 90% of that is fine. I don't know if that little skylight thing is a solar panel, but you could just see the other section from Old Church Road, and it's probably because it's winter, but I don't know what the criterion is for that.
I think it's visible from a public way. I think it's
There you go.
clear.
Right.
So I would approve the panels, all the panels on the dormer, including that little square, and not the part that you can see. Because if we could see it from Old Church Road, the house right there that I'd had to look through can see it as well.
Are there any abutters present?
If there's any abutters present, raise your hand or press star 9 if you're using a phone if you'd like to speak about this application.
I'm also assuming you guys are giving it a couple weeks or something based on the Zoom meetings and people not being able to attend.
Yeah. How far is it from the Church Street or Church Road to the house? I mean, granted, you can see them now, but if there's any foliage on trees, come the spring, they'll be invisible. But the other question is how far they are away.
Well, there's another question too, which is how much energy efficiency are we losing by eliminating just those panels?
Well, about 15 to 20%.
But you'd still have.
I couldn't give you an answer on that.
Well, there's five of them there versus 19 in total. Isn't it 19?
It looks like
19
we,
total.
it looks like we do have an abutter.
That's about 20 to 25%. If you're able to move up to the 360s, you probably get the same total wattage that you have now with 3 less.
Yeah, what I'm concerned about is we may be able to do something like that, but I'm not sure that we can get the black on black. I'm not sure you'd be able to see those panels anyway, but I know you guys like the black on black.
Right.
the panels that we have do not have aluminum frames. They have black frames.
Right,
Some of them do have the diamond pattern.
yep, but I've seen them, I think LG has them even.
You know, again, we just don't have that capability in the company to
Oh,
pick and choose.
I see.
Much to the salespeople's chagrin.
I guess. Yeah, because, you know, I was in touch with a company in Slovenia because I was interested in their work on tracking systems. And they had black on black 360s available. And actually the price was pretty good too.
But if you're able to get 360s that are not necessarily black on black, but by doing so, you can have the equal amount of power and still eliminate those that are visible, then it doesn't really matter whether they're black on black or not, does it?
True.
Yeah, we wouldn't bring forward a proposal without the black on black if we thought there was any visibility to it.
So is the applicant amenable to modifying the application by the elimination of the visible panels?
Yes,
And then you can figure out how you want to achieve the energy level that you'd like to achieve, either by substituting panels that are not black on black or somehow finding black on black that are up to snuff from an energy perspective.
sure.
It
And-
looks like there's more room on that dormer.
Yeah.
I'm not sure why this arrangement has just the two, looks like two rows of black,
There's
when
a
you could
vent.
bring 2 or 3 more pieces from the other side over there.
You
I don't know,
might-
is there a reason why it's less on the dormer?
I don't have one for you.
There's a vent there. See?
Yeah, there's probably a waste pipe, vent pipe.
Yeah, but you might be able to move those up and put another row there.
No, I think there's something that we could do to increase that.
So maybe we should
We'll table it for 2
table
weeks.
this application to see a new design that doesn't include visible panels, but still might achieve the energy efficiency that that the homeowner and the contractor and Richard would like to see.
Yeah.
So I move to table this application.
I'll second it, Paula.
Okay, Paula seconded, Bob motion. So all in favor of this, it's probably 2 weeks. Okay, if they can come back.
Great, we'll get right on it.
Great. Okay, so all in favor, I'll have to do a roll call. Bob,
Aye.
John,
I,
Paula,
Aye.
Rosemary,
Aye.
and myself, Richard K. Gummoth. Good. Well, thank you for coming in to be able to speak to this.
Great. No, I appreciate it. Thank you. You guys stay safe.
Was
This second item on the agenda is concerned with work at 51 Longfellow Drive. Several things. There's a new roof, updated windows, replacing siding and shakes, repairing a porch and rear sliders, paint siding and doors, replacing a garage door and windows. So this is extensive work that'll be going on there. The homeowner is Amy Durier, if I pronounce it correctly. Is Amy here?
She is. I just promoted Amy to panelist, so when she can rejoin and unmute, she can speak.
Good.
Hi, Amy.
Good. Okay, Amy. We have the spec sheet here. We can see you're going to be using Harvey slimline windows, which are a vinyl replacement type.
Yes.
Clapboard, that's cedar clapboard in the front,
Yes.
and then regular cedar shingles or shakes around the sides and rear. And the front, you chose this Newburyport blue. And I think there was a chip here. And we've had the same color recently on some other things. So we're familiar with that. Doors, you have 3 doors being replaced with fiberglass. And you've chosen a, was it Wyeth?
Mhm.
Wyeth blue,
Wife.
which is sort of like a robin's egg, light blue, which I think we've had a problem with before. It looks too pastel-y.
Okay. It is a historic color.
Is it what do you call it? Let's see, what else here? So let's move on to pictures of the house and stuff. Okay, so that's the cobblestone gray,
Mhm.
which is some variation in it. Good. Oh, it's, yeah, good. Okay, the window replacement, you circled 6/6, but you wrote in 4/4.
So I opted to keep the existing grid pattern and just do the same.
Okay, so that's 6/6.
Yes.
Good.
The grid patterns vary all around the house, so I just kept the existing.
Good, good. Yeah, because, you know, the pictures of the house, the windows look like they're in not such great shape, but
They're not.
they look like they're kind of proper for the type of house and the locations.
Mhm.
So if you're replacing them that way, that's good.
Okay.
So there you go.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's, you know, it's a nice house. It just needs a lot of work. So
Yes, it does.
this is new to you, I take it.
Yes.
Good. I hope you got a good price.
So does this replace garage door with another garage door with windows, or replace the door to put windows in?
Yes, thank you for clarifying. So I'm going to be replacing the garage door with windows.
So you're making that a room then, I take it?
Correct.
Okay.
Do we have any, Paula, once again, you and I are right on the same wavelength.
It's
Do you have
amazing, isn't
anything
it?
showing- It is, it's fabulous. So do you have anything showing what the new windows are gonna look like on the garage door?
Yeah, this-
So what I actually have decided to mirror the pattern, if you will, on the front of the house, I'm going to take the windows that are on the far right of the house and put those 2 identical windows in where the garage door is now. So the symmetry will be there in the front of the house. So it'll be like a 2, and then the picture window, which is where the living room is. I actually, after meeting and kind of going over the plans of how it will look on the interior, it makes more sense to just have it with 2 windows, and it will give it a nicer aesthetic on the front of the house as well.
Okay, so looking at this drawing, what you've sketched in here is a picture window, which is not relevant. We're not using that. We're using.
No, I apologize. This was just.
I just want to make sure we're clear on what the plan is. So we're using the windows to the right of the front door as you're looking at the house, and we're doubling them up with presumably some space. They'll be spaced more or less equally on the opening where the garage door now is.
Yes.
Is that essentially what you plan? Okay.
Good.
And then the wall will be cedar shakes.
In the little
It'll-
alcove.
It'll be clapboard there.
Clapboard.
Oh,
Yep.
Oh, there.
Wall replacing the garage door will be clapboard. Is that right?
Correct.
and picture 14, I think, is the blue, which would be on
That's
the clapboard.
Newburyport blue. Yep.
And 15 is the lighter blue.
In the wire.
Correct. That would be for the front door, and then the little breezeway door as well that leads into the kitchen.
Is there a white screen door on the front as well?
There is, and I'm actually going to remove it.
Okay. And
So
what about the shutters?
The shutters I would like to be white. They'll be the same.
Good. So, yeah, they're not too bad. Good. Yeah, it's a Newburyport. Okay, any other questions, team?
Looks like a wonderful project.
Thank you. I'm very excited to get going on it.
Good.
When we move on this, do we need to amend this application to reflect the true design of the replacement for the garage doors? Or is that implicit in what's being discussed and we don't have to actually codify it in some way?
Yeah, I think, they drew them in and the picture showing the other windows on the right side, so I think it's pretty clear what they'll be doing. So,
Well, they actually drew in what's not going to be there.
well,
They didn't draw in what is going to be there.
the connecting lines made it look
Okay.
like there's a big.
I don't wish to nitpick. As long as everyone feels they're on the same page and knows what the plan is, I'm fine with it.
I move to approve.
It was Rosemary?
Yes, sorry about that.
Okay. Do I have a second?
I'll second it on faith that we are all on the same page.
Who seconded?
Bob,
Oh, okay. So all in favor now. Rosemary Nichols,
Aye.
Paula Morrison,
Aye.
Bob Wilkins,
aye.
and Richard Kaganwath. Is John still around?
Yep,
And John, what do you think?
I'm in favor. Aye.
Aye, okay. So it's unanimous. I
Thank
missed you on the last one. Sorry. Good. So good luck with it. And if you're going to make any more changes, though, please come back to us before you do it. We've seen projects where I go out to inspect them when they're all done. And I said, Oh, wait a minute. So we like to see them in advance.
Okay.
Thank you.
So
Thank you.
you're welcome. All right. Item 3 is at 34 Railroad Avenue. Donna Laguerre is the owner and Stephen Rogers is the agent. And they plan on constructing a deck. And it's pretty low to the ground. So maybe they can describe it a bit. Do we have Donna or Steve here?
Donna emailed me and she requested that this be tabled until the 25th because no one was able to attend this evening.
Ah, okay. So do we have a motion to table?
I'll move the table. Bob?
Bob,
I'll second Paula.
good, okay. All those in favor of the table? Rosemary Nichols,
Aye.
John Stewart,
Aye.
Bob Wilkins,
Aye.
Paula Morrison,
Aye.
and myself, Richard Gegenwath, all agree to table this. So hopefully they'll be able to make it next time. The next item is concerned with painting the front door and alcove at 28 Lookout Road. The homeowners are Amy and Dennis Hatch, and they are very good members of the West Ennis Yacht Club, to which I was past Commodore, and therefore I will recuse myself, and Bob will continue the meeting.
Okay. So, let me get back on the page here. Just bear with me a second. I lost the page. Here we go. All right. Okay, so are there any questions about this application?
Is the color that's proposed going to be different than the color that's there now?
Well, we have.
That is the color.
Yeah, that is the color now.
Oh, that is the color.
That's the color that the meeting's about?
Yes,
So it's already been done.
yes, and we apologize. We didn't realize we needed the appropriateness filing before, and we appreciate. We bought our home a year and a half ago, and looking forward to retiring there at some point. And thought this was a good color. This was selected from the Benjamin Moore
Grand entrance.
Grand entrance collection. Not that it's a different color, but anyway, we thought it fit well in the neighborhood. But so we respectfully request to be able to maintain it this color.
Is this a flat paint, semi-gloss, high gloss? What's the finish on this color?
It's a gloss. I think it's a gloss. It's Grand Entrance. It's the Benmore line that is for exterior doors and shutters. So it doesn't have like a definition like other paint colors, but it has a sheen to it. But they don't classify it as matte finish or satin or gloss, but it does have a sheen.
Well, generally on the paint can, it will tell you what the surface quality is. In fact, I think universally it will tell you if it's a gloss paint or a semi-gloss eggshell.
What is the picture? Is the picture 5 or 6?
I'm on 5.
Oh,
gloss.
gloss,
High
there
gloss.
you go.
High gloss.
Okay.
not high gloss. It's actually flat. At least it says high gloss.
It doesn't look high gloss.
Sample, the sample is not high gloss.
No, that's true.
So it's that color, but it will be in high gloss.
No, that is the color. It's already done.
Right. Well, okay, so let's look at number 9 then. What does it look like actually? I can't tell.
It's the same color. This is a recessed entryway, correct?
Yes,
This is the same color on flanking the side lights on the
yes,
sidewalk?
yes, it is.
That's the same color. What
Correct.
about are these shutters? Are the windows have shutters on them?
No,
They used
Oh,
to.
so that's just what is that? Oh, that's a shadow of where they used to be. Okay.
yes,
So did you use high gloss to paint it? Because we can't tell.
It's it's the grand entrance. So that was when I did the application, that's the paperwork that I got from Ben Moore.
Okay. But
Yeah.
just with the
So that is the paint. I didn't realize it. I thought it was just the type of paint because it's made for exterior. It's a whole line that's made for doors and shutters.
you see, you get paint comes in flat, semi-gloss, gloss, and high gloss.
Yeah.
So the picture of the can you showed us is high gloss, but your sample on page 5 is flat. So you used high gloss.
The grand entrance, yes.
Okay, so
Yeah.
it's high gloss. Okay, so actually number 5 is incorrect in its gloss.
Well, that's the color.
That's the color, but it's in high gloss. Does everyone understand that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, it's-
I did go by this today and it's not really shiny.
Yeah.
It's not flat, but it's not really brilliant shiny either.
Yeah. Well, paint does tone down over time, even
Right.
if it's high gloss. So
Even with different paints, you'll get the same exact color, and the gloss will be different between brains.
Mhm.
understood.
So, everybody okay with this?
Mhm.
Yeah, I'd move to approve.
I'll second.
Bob, your toe.
Okay, it's motion's been made and seconded. We'll do the roll call. Roll call. Let's do John. Let's do
John,
it.
yes, yeah.
Paula,
Yes.
Rosemary,
Yes.
and I, Bob Wilkins, will abstain. Richard has recused himself, so it passes 3 with 1 abstention.
Thank you very much. Have a great night, everybody.
Thank you.
Enjoy.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, now back to the professional who could do a better job.
You're fired, Bob.
It's good practice.
I'm not very good, but I don't charge much.
He's gonna do it next one. Get some more practice in. You're gonna do
So the next item is at 22 Hakanan Road, installation of a fence. The homeowners are John and Linda Van Bars, the owner, and Cape Cod Fence is the agent. So hopefully John and Linda might be here tonight.
That's not the right app.
Thank you very much. Okay.
So the fence, it looks like a black wrought iron or aluminum. Let's see, black aluminum, 5-foot fence for the new dog. It's going to be in high society. So it says stylus picket with the, I don't know, is that what you call these pictures? Picture 11 and 12. It's like it was, picture was taken down on Route 28.
That's correct.
So it's similar to what we allow around a swimming pool.
Right, yeah, these are often used around swimming pools. And according to the diagram, it'll be coming out from the side of the house, at the back part of the house, on the left side. Can we go back to the plot plan, which is number 9? Here we go. Okay, so it comes out on the left side, 16 feet. And I don't know, is that a deck or patio on the back?
There is a deck. So obviously against the house, there's a deck, and that's the back of the garage to the left. And the far left corner is the door from the garage to the backyard. And then the deck is to the right of that. And it goes in, that little bump out is actually quite a bit bigger. It's a family room, and
Oh,
so the
okay,
deck is a little L shape, but it's cornered in an L shaped part of the house.
good. So that's 24-foot section, just meets up at that corner.
Yeah, it comes off. Well, the fence actually comes out from the back of the house straight out 24 feet
Yeah.
to a tree. And then that whole 70-foot curve goes all the way around, sort of along the edge of the property.
Yeah, it's kind of flat and then it goes up again, right?
Yeah.
Good.
And the gate would be in the 16-foot section coming out from the left side of the house.
Good,
No.
you're logical.
No.
So is this 16-foot section visible from the road, from the street?
It is visible from our street, yes.
It would be showing maybe in picture 14.
Is there a picture of the back of the house?
Yep. So that's the side. So that's from the Hakanan side, looking down the left. So you'll be able to see the 16-foot section would come from just the right. You can just see the white rail of our deck beyond the back corner of the house here. Just before that it would go out 16 feet, and then it would follow that line. You see that hill, that small hill we have there. It would that curve follows that line of that hill.
Good.
In the back of the house?
We got pictures of that too. I think the next couple, 15 and 16.
So a couple of shrubs might be in order along the front of the fence. You know,
I would
obviously
love
not,
to, that's a great idea. Love to put in a couple shrubs.
yeah, I would break it up and
Evergreens.
yeah, because there's a gate there, but on either side of the gate,
Yeah, I agreed.
it would work nice.
Yeah, as a general rule, we frown on fences, iron or aluminum fences that are visible from the public way. So if you could screen that out, it would make us a lot more. It would make me more amenable to.
Happy to do that.
16 feet of fence is going to require how many shrubs? of what size?
Good project for the spring.
Yeah.
That's, so how many shrubs is it?
I would think at least 2 on each side of the gate.
At least.
Yeah, they could be rhododendrons even or something like that. They stay green.
Right,
Good.
grow fast.
Any other questions, comments? So do I have a motion on this?
I'll move to approve the application as amended to include 4 shrubs, 2 on each side flanking the gate to the 16-foot section of fence, sufficient to screen out that section.
Agreed on my end.
Do we have a second?
I'll second Paula.
Paula, good, thank you. So all those in favor? Paula Morrison,
Aye.
John Stewart,
Aye.
Bob Wilkins,
Aye.
Rosemary Nichols,
Aye.
and Richard Gegenwath approves as well. So should be a nice job, and wish you best of luck. And if you plan on making any changes, let us know in advance, please.
Will do. Thanks so much, everybody.
You're welcome.
Enjoy that puppy.
Oh, thank you. It's getting close.
Good. Now, item 6 is 24 Thatcher Shore Road. Laura Paul and Paul Messier are the owners, and they'll be replacing a couple of windows. This is an elderly house, as several of them are on Thatcher Shore Road. And I think I saw it was built around 18 something. I think it says it on the page 1. There you go. 1840 it says here. And it's got a lot of character. So which of the windows now are being replaced?
I'm adding Paul.
It says replacing 2 windows. So I was wondering, there are a lot of windows in the house. Are they marked someplace?
Well, then I was adding Paul Messier to the meeting.
Hi,
What is picture 11?
we're here. Oops. So, so there are 2 windows in question. One is on the front, one is on the back. The one that you have on the screen now is sort of the proposed look of the one on the back. That's not existing on the back. That's the proposal. Right.
Is there an existing picture?
I'm not familiar with the application. If you scroll back, I'm sure there is. This was prepared for us by the contractor, so this is the first time I'm seeing it. Okay, so let's just stick with the front for now, unless you want to.
Okay, at 101.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what we're doing here is that you can see that there are 3 windows side by side, and so that the windows that exist are kind of casement and they're old and we can't really open them very well. And so we're maintaining that same size, that same opening, the same proportions, and just replacing it with windows that slide. So we have a better shot at opening them. So there's from the street, when it's finished, there should be no visible change whatsoever. It's just a functional thing.
Okay, so they'll be trimmed out just like the rest of them are.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good. And the grill patterns stay the same.
Yes, I believe that's correct. Yeah, it's not gonna, the grill patterns are gonna be proportionate to the older windows on the older side of the house.
Uh-huh.
Are those windows original to the house?
No, all of the windows are replacement windows in the house. They're the same proportions on the older side of the house, but this is actually a 1980s edition that you're looking at here. Everything to the, as you face the house, everything to the right, the salt box, that's, it's may even be earlier than the 1840s. It's unclear. The house was moved to Yarmouthport at a certain point from Osterville, we're told.
Right, they added the addition of the barn at the same time. if I remember.
That's right. And these windows that we're talking about appear in the addition. So I this is nice for context, but this has nothing to do with the renovation.
Right.
Ditto.
Love that house.
So there, 102, you can see
Yeah.
the existing windows that we're proposing to replace.
Mhm.
Okay, so, yeah, here's the 102. So these will turn into casement windows, so I take it?
Yeah, yes. And so the idea here is to give us a little more light and a little more functionality and really actually match kind of you can't see it here, but we've got kind of these glass sliders on the back of the house.
Yeah.
And these will be, the proposed windows are more proportionate to those.
Good. And the other picture that we first put up, which is that number 11, the next one.
Here we go.
Yeah, it's kind of a artist rendition, if you will,
Yeah.
Photoshop.
It's sort of a bad Photoshop job. I could have done a little better, I think.
It doesn't have any trim around it. And so I
Right.
would just, you should really trim it out.
Oh, definitely. I mean, we care for this property and it's our intention to maintain the integrity of the design. Absolutely.
Good, okay.
I have one question. And my only concern about any of this is that it's an 1840-year-old house. I don't think sliders were around at that time. I
Right.
don't know. That seems to be a modern element to an 1840 house. I
Yeah,
could
but-
be wrong. I could
Well,
be
no,
wrong.
no, I think you're right. But it's yeah, I mean, it's a question of, I suppose, do you think of it as one house or do you think of it as two houses? Because this is definitely the 1980s wing.
Edition.
The salt box doesn't have sliders.
Yeah. Right. Good.
But when they did the renovation, they did add sliders to the old side of the house.
Well, yeah, if you go, you can.
You have to sort of go pan left. I don't know what images there are here, but
Number 5.
Yeah, that's a terrible picture, but you get a sense of this. Do you see there's a striped awning kind of at the roof line?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and below that there are sliders. Now, those sliders are actually in the 1980s addition.
And those are windows?
Those are sliding glass doors opening to a.
They have grills.
And they have the grids, right?
Yes, that's right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they look nice. They look fine.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the house sold fairly recently, and if you look online for 24 Thatcher Shore Road, you'll find a million pictures a lot better than these of the house, front and back.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, from a historic perspective, and I've never been in this house, so I can't swear to this, but my instinctive reaction is that this is a house that's undergone multiple changes over the last 2 centuries. And so I'm a little less concerned about historical accuracy as I might ordinarily be. I think there have been a lot of changes to this house over the years. So I move to approve the application.
I second Rosemary.
Good, okay, so all those in favor, Rosemary Nichols,
Aye.
Paul Morrison,
I,
John Stewart,
Aye.
Bob Wilkins,
Aye.
and myself, Richard Gegenwarth, approve. And so you've got a good project ahead of you. Wish you luck with it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
If you're going to make any changes, let us know in advance, as I mentioned before to previous people that were here.
Yeah,
So
will do.
good luck and thanks for coming in tonight.
Thanks. Are we finished? We're finished, right?
Yeah.
You're finished.
Now the work starts.
Yeah.
You're not finished.
You're just starting.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thanks very much for your time, all of you. Appreciate it.
you're welcome.
Yeah.
Bye now. Good to meet you.
Good night. Nice meeting you.
Okay, so now we have two tabled items. The first one is at 20 Fortune Road, and the next one after that is 227 Pine Street. So we'll have to enable taking this off the table. So I have a motion for that.
I'll move to untable.
I'll second.
Great, okay. All those in favor? Paul Morrison,
I,
John Stewart,
Aye.
Bob Wilkins,
Aye.
and Rosemary Nichols.
Aye.
And I agree. Richard. So we have Diana Mosion, the owner, and Dennis Lanzetta, the agent, to remove and replace existing breezeway and garage and construction of an addition at 20 Fortune Road. Now, hopefully we have more information than we have.
Oh, there we go. Okay. Hi, good evening.
This is Dennis.
My name is John Rubin. I'm Diane's husband. Dennis
Oh,
won't be.
okay. Good.
Yeah.
So
Good evening. Thank you for meeting with us this evening.
I'm glad to have you here tonight. We have a bunch of drawings that show the existing and a lot of pictures of the existing house. I'm not sure if we had, here we go, if we walk around here. This garage is going to go?
Yes, sir. We'd like it to go.
And the breezeway.
If I could just say, give you a preamble of what's going on
Good.
as it relates to our intention and why.
I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now, sir?
Yes.
Yes.
Good evening again. I don't know if you heard me say that. This is my wife, and she's the owner of record. I'm John Rubin, her husband.
Yeah.
And it's time we want to get away from Washington, D.C. I heard it brought up earlier, and we'd like to move here permanently. And there's two issues at hand. The first is we have a substandard concrete slab that's deteriorating. That's the practical issue. The second issue is the fact that we want to move here permanently, and the house is a bit small. And we've got some grandchildren that would like to visit us from Washington, and we'd like to move here permanently. And we got an architect as well as a builder to put together a plan for us for your consideration.
Good.
It's a good time to get out of DC.
I heard you talking about that earlier. Thank you. Yeah, we got to get through the inaugural, so please
Right.
get us out of here.
Now, the pictures on the schematic diagrams on 7 and 8. So this would be the new foundation? Is it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and so they'll get extended out and back now. The front looks like it's about where the front is for the present breezeway.
That's correct.
Okay. So we can move on to the next one. Okay, now this is showing a lot of roof timbers, I guess.
Right, roof framing plan.
Yeah, framing.
So
But the garage, this garage, it looks like a garage, but it's not going to be a garage, is it?
The garage is going hopefully demolished with another one to sit with in the current footprint.
Oh, okay. So that will still be a garage, that section.
It's a dilapidated garage right now.
Okay, so this is the vertical. Are there any elevations? Front elevation, rear elevation?
right,
Are these the new or existing?
that's number 5, I believe. Is that what you're looking for, Richard?
So this where it says front elevation, that's the new view, right?
Yes,
Right.
that's
And
the view.
the right elevation continues out. Okay, and this rear elevation shows this room that extends out in the back, which has a fireplace with a vent,
Gas fireplace. Yes,
vent between the two windows. And then there's a door coming out there. I don't know, is there a deck or something going to be there?
no, sir.
This is a bulkhead. So
Yes, sir. it is.
door is a little further out, so this is the bulkhead. Okay, Grace, could you move it over a little so I can see the right elevation?
I have to move us to the top.
All right, I'm slightly confused about what you're asking.
Okay,
Yeah.
you did it. You did it.
Okay.
So, yeah, now we can see the whole,
There's a breezeway right
extension.
now. There's a current breezeway right now.
And we're keeping the same footprint for that. We're just enclosing the breezeway.
Smaller. That's good.
yeah, but it gives an entrance into this larger room in the back, right? With the high.
Yes, it's a door. Yes, sir.
It'll be like a mudroom.
Yeah,
There's a door now, but it's a screen door.
yeah.
Okay. And it's the same footprint?
Yes, sir.
Pretty much.
Okay.
Except there's a section that sticks out the back now.
On the back,
Right,
the
the back
small
is-
room that's going to be built behind the breezeway
Yeah,
is contemplated in these drawings,
For a family room.
or for small family room
yep,
in the back.
yeah.
Okay.
Unfortunately, when I move my mouse around to point at things, you can't see them. Well, it looks pretty good.
Well, we hope you like it.
Looks like it'll work.
Mhm.
When would you start building?
Hopefully February or March, sir.
Good. The way things are going now, you may not have to worry about frost.
Yeah, right. You're absolutely correct.
Are there any butters present that would like to speak at all?
Do we have any public comment on this?
We do. We have one. Evelyn has been promoted to a panelist. I'm sure it'll take just a few seconds for her to reconnect. Evelyn, you can speak whenever you would like.
Well, it looks like a good addition. I was wondering about the side entrance door. Not really excited about a side entrance on the bedroom side of the house here, but was wondering if that could be off the back of the house.
It's off the back. The door would be off the back.
The entrances would really be the same.
The entrances are the same. But the door I think you're referring to is from the back to go into the backyard.
By the bulkhead.
By the bulkhead.
No, there's a
No, on the
door
right elevation, there's a door out of the back of the garage to
on
the
the north
side.
side of the garage.
Oh, there's currently a door
Wait.
out of the back of the
No.
garage.
There
Oh, the back of the garage is currently a door now. Which, I was looking at the side elevation. We just never use it. There's a refrigerator in front.
No, there's a side door on the proposal on the
Yeah.
back of the garage.
Right.
On the side, the north side of the garage shows a door, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. The picture that is on the screen right now, that
Yeah.
has the door coming out the side of the garage. It could also be done
Are you looking at the lower right diagram?
the upper right,
Upper right diagram.
that's the garage on the
Right,
side.
there,
That's where there's a door right now existing.
No.
I
there
don't
is
think
no-
so, Paul.
Oh, no.
This is the side facing the neighbor from the forest.
Oh. We don't need a door.
We don't, I mean, I don't know, the architect put it there. And that would be in the garage.
Yeah, it could be moved though to the back. There's a wall there with nothing, no windows. You see, the existing one has the garage door in the back corner. And on the new design, the back section isn't quite as big as this, I think, but it's blank. So it could be there too. Are the houses relatively close together there?
No, man, no, sir. No, they're not.
Full view. And what, 40 feet maybe?
I didn't measure it, but I would say 40 to 60 feet, sure.
Yeah, usually the sidelines are about 20 feet for each house.
So the abutter has an objection to the door facing.
Just a privacy thing, security thing, I don't know. Probably won't be used much, but it's an additional door Be nice if it wasn't there.
How does the door affect privacy? Isn't there woods on that
Doors
side?
are Going in and out.
Yeah, I'm not clear on Evelyn, I'm not clear on what your objection is exactly to the door. I don't get it.
See all the forest there, we have so much privacy between our neighbors and the distance and coupled together.
Oh, yeah.
No, no, no. Put a date on that picture. Those trees aren't there. That's
This
a,
tree-
that's an
There's
old.
trees there. I don't know which, I didn't take the trees down, but it looks like a nice spring day. That's all I can tell you. And as you know, in the winter, yes, it does get thin.
No, 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 those trees aren't there. They're
I
gone.
didn't,
That's an old picture.
Could you express yourself a little bit more clearly on exactly what the objection to the door is?
Doors are for going in and out.
Right.
It is pretty close to my property and it wasn't there before. So I just noticed there's an entrance door there now.
So you're worried about, you said something about security.
People from the driveway going into that door. I do you like it?
Evelyn, are you on, if you're looking at the house, are you on the right side or the left side? You're on the right side, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
The bedroom side of the house. If it was the garage, I wouldn't care. If it was the garage side, I wouldn't care. But
So it's on the left side.
there's no,
Left
what's
side,
on?
left side of Evelyn's house. Is that what you're asking? Paul?
I'm asking her if she's on the left side of this house, if you're
No.
looking at the front of it,
No, I'm on the right.
on the right.
So the door opens towards her property.
Yes, and it does look like there's a ton of trees there. Yeah,
No, that's an old picture. There's
are they
not-
all gone?
no, ma'am.
No.
Someone has planted some arborvitaes that are like 4 feet tall. But that goes to the back of the property of
Well,
my property.
All right, let me ask the homeowners, do you object to moving the door around to the back?
Yes, I do, but I'd be more than happy to make a compromise suggestion, if it makes sense to everyone, is to leave that door and make it into a shed.
I don't understand.
I don't either.
I'd create some space, there'll be a door there on that side of, keep the door there, but when you go into it would be a shed space, have the builder create a shed space for us.
You mean inside the garage, there'd be a shed?
Yeah, even 3 feet.
Not a shed, storage.
Storage, ma'am, storage, wrong choice of words. Right,
So, you mean
storage
like
area,
a mudroom? A mudroom, is that what you're?
similar to that.
More for like garden tools and things like that, it would be for.
And it wouldn't open all the way into the house?
That's correct. That's a suggestion.
I don't
The
know.
door to the left side of the garage in the mudroom opens to the mudroom.
Right.
So that's not visible only to. So we do have a door that opens from the garage into the mudroom.
Well, her concern is that people are going in and out of a door. It doesn't matter what the door is, I would assume. So I don't understand really what the concern is of going in and out of a door.
I don't either.
I don't either. I move to approve the application.
Yeah, I don't have a problem.
I'll second that. Rosemary.
Okay, I'll take a roll call. All those in favor, Paula Morrison,
Aye.
John Stewart,
Aye.
Bob Wilkins,
Aye.
and Paula Morrison. I get you ready?
Aye, aye. Rosemary, to you.
Mary.
Aye.
Good. Okay, and myself, Richard. So the ayes have it, and work shall progress. Hopefully.
Thank you.
good weather in February.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
I enjoyed the meeting and we appreciate your time.
You're welcome.
Be safe.
We
Welcome
did
to the
not-
Cape.
That's good.
Thank you, Natalie.
Yeah.
Thank you, Rosemary.
Looking forward to it. Thank you.
I know. So we have the Cape and Islands Council of the Boy Scouts coming up next. Item 8 on the agenda, the second carried over. So we have to first take it off of
I'll move to untable.
on table.
I'll second Paula.
Paula seconds it. All those in favor say aye. We have Rosemary Nichols,
Aye.
Paula Morrison,
Aye.
John Stewart,
Aye.
and Bob Wilkins,
Aye.
and myself, Richard, eager to look at this one. So do we have perhaps Bruce Hamilton?
We do.
Get pen, man.
Know that Brittany's also here.
It was a Mike Riley last time.
Mike Riley's also here. We do have quite a few abutters for this application as well.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put the application on and then I'm going to run out of the office for just a moment.
Hidden the table. I'm alone. So this was tabled the last time because of screening problems?
That's right.
Yeah, there were a number of concerns about the visibility of the structure itself, the parking lot, the lighting of the parking lot, and the thought was that sufficient screening would alleviate
Most
all
of
of
the
those
problems,
concerns.
yeah. Good.
Is the agent up and can he hear us?
Yeah, Bruce Hamilton,
Yes.
is the
Hi,
architect.
Bruce. This is John Stewart. I have a question how, what your definition of a multi-purpose building is. Can you hear me, Bruce?
I don't see him promoted yet.
Oh, okay. Someone spoke.
Bruce Hamilton is promoted. So is Brittany and so is Mike Riley.
Yeah, Bruce is on mute though.
If everybody could unmute, you could speak then. Mike Riley is unmuted.
Hello, Mike.
Yep, I'm here, Bruce.
Yeah, can you answer that question that was
Sure.
just raised?
For our purposes, multi-purpose means it would be appropriate for all of the different programs we operate. It could be used for training of adult volunteers. It could be used for activities for children. It could be large meetings. It could be small meetings. It offers restrooms for that section of camp that are currently unavailable. Those are the various purposes.
And for Cub Scouts as well as Boy Scouts
Cub Scouts, Boy Scouts, Explorers,
Summer.
Venturers, Sea Scouts.
and year-round, actually. So where we left off last time was that we all felt pretty good about the design of the building. There was concern about visibility from the road, and we talked about landscape plan, and it appears that you have done a lot of work on that. There are some pictures. 22, it must be about 25 or 6 number. Grace, could you move down to the ones that show the, okay, this was from last time.
Yes.
But since then, you've scattered a bunch of evergreens in here. White pines, here we go. Northern spruce, Norway spruce, I think. And white pines and so on. And along the side of the entrance road, plus some with pear trees, I think.
Yes, our landscape designer, architect, Patrick Kelly, is with us, and he can, I think, give some more insight as to the landscape plan and design.
Mr. Chairman, could I just back up a little bit and follow up on John's question? So is this going to be exclusively for the use of scouting and scouting programs, or is this facility going to be available to other groups and entities that may not necessarily be related to scouting?
It'll be available as the camp is now to other organizations, mainly youth serving organizations, other civic groups.
Do you expect a big increase in usage?
It's hard to say. My biggest hope would be that we would see increased in weekday usage by school groups wanting to bring kids outside for an outdoor experience.
We're all in favor of that. I think what we're maybe getting at is, and this was initially proposed as a STEM facility for the Scouts only.
No,
and it's more.
It was STEM is a big part of it.
That was
it was not exclusively STEM.
That was the first meeting. That's what the proposal was. And since then it's morphed into a multi-purpose building. And we're not sure what that means, because the neighborhood could be drastically changed if this is something that's going to be used for 300 days out of the year as a convention center type place. I mean, you can't, if you're going to be renting it, you can't decide to eliminate who's going to rent it from you.
Well, I think we can.
I
I think it's our property. I think we can determine who we're going to make it available to and who we're not.
Maybe.
That would be a question for zoning and building for the building.
Right. The problem is a lot of times if we approve something on this committee, they use our approval as an expression that it's okay to do. Well, it was approved by the Old Kings Highway, so it must be all right, since we're a bunch of old fogies that live in Yarmouthport and snobby and whatever. So we're using it as an excuse a lot of time, as a gateway to approval by other committees in the town. So there's been a lot of talk about this. I live in the village just up the street from Pine Street, and there's been a lot of complaining and a lot of questioning about what's going to happen to Pine Street. It's a very narrow road. We don't, that it's for the Zoning Board of Appeals whether or not you can put a commercial building there. That's not up to us, but people are still complaining to me. So I'm bringing forth their complaints. I think we have abutters that are going to speak.
Well, I've got 4 letters here from various people. One is from Heather Jan Gregorio on Windjammer Lane in South Yarmouth. And she has experience with Boy Scouts and with her family. as PAC members and troop members. And she supports the project. Her family has been involved with the Boy Scout for some time. And in conclusion, she says there are many benefits of the building for scouting as well as the community. The building has many amazing things to offer to the scouts and to scouting in general, but also other organizations and schools that can take advantage of the resources of Camp Greenough. So the camp is a great blessing, and this building will just enhance the programs that do go on at the camp.
So I have only lived here 5 years, but I use Pine Street at least, I don't know, twice a day, I would think. And I have not seen one car go in and out of that driveway in all that time. Now, I imagine there will be an increase in vehicular traffic if this becomes a multi-purpose building. But as long as the multi-purpose is kept to Boy Scout activities, whether they be fundraisers, conventions for Boy Scouting, as long as it's not wedding receptions and conventions for other businesses, I don't know. I
Well,
think
that
it's a nice, go ahead.
That hasn't been excluded though, Paula. They
No,
haven't
we can't.
excluded the right to include anything.
We can't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that you can't limit it to, it's supposed to be for Boy Scouts of America.
That's
That was
not what I
we
heard.
were told initially.
I have another letter from John Cook. I have his telephone number here, but I don't see his address. He's a resident of Yarmouth at 32 West Road in West Yarmouth. And he's been involved with scouting here in Yarmouth when he was a child growing up in town, and again now as a Cub Master and Den leader for Pack 59 Yarmouth. And he feels that we're very fortunate to have Camp Greenough in our backyard. The scouting teaches the youth many valuable skills. It's a wonderful character development program and virtually important teaching skills for children with these outdoor classroom. And he's excited about the proposal. He would certainly improve the experience of scouts from near and far as they enter the property, which would serve as an entryway for them to our town. He says, for us locals, there are many direct benefits of Pack 59 who use the property year-round, especially this year with COVID, because Camp Greenough has been the only place we've been able to meet. At least they can meet there at the camp with some fresh air and not be cooped up indoors someplace. So this will be a local usable space available year-round for central indoor meeting point for activities at the camp. And as a parent whose children attend day camp, it will provide restrooms and the indoor space is needed during drop-off and pickup for a summer camp activity. So he feels that the council and the camp have historically maintained wonderful relationships with the neighbors, and points out that the neighbor directly abutting the entrance of the property gifted a brick in the outdoor chapel in memory of the passing of a family member. And this ceremony took place at the same time as a similar memorial for Sergeant Sean Gannon. Many neighbors walk around the property with the scouts when the scouts are not there and enjoy the beauty, tranquility, and ambiance of the camp. So that's John Cook. He's very favorable. Then there's two other letters which are independently sent in. Both happen to be Lovett, Marshall Lovett and Jane Lovett. Jane is writing in favor of the new building. As a resident of Yarmouthport, she lives on Homestead Lane, 11 Homestead Lane. She has a long association with the camp. My father, Windsor C. Baker, was the first Cape Codder to earn the rank of Eagle Scout and became a Scoutmaster in Yarmouth in the 1950s. And our family spent quite a bit of enjoyable time there at the camp. My husband spent time there in the 60s and again with our boys in the 80s and 90s as assistant Scoutmaster in Yarmouthport. So our boys grew up in town and they attended the camp. Our oldest son is now a Scoutmaster for the girls' troop in Yarmouthport. So I feel that this is an important, good thing for the children of the area. And Marshall Lovett is writing also to support the proposed new building camp. He too grew up in Yarmouthport, about a mile from the camp. And during his time as a Cub Scout and Boy Scout in Troop 50 in Yarmouthport, spent several years as an assistant Scoutmaster and then as a Scoutmaster of the troop. And when the BSA became welcoming to girls into the program a few years ago, he founded Troop 150 in Yarmouthport so that their daughters could participate in the program as well. So the daughters are fourth generation Scouts and they love spending time at the camp. So family spends several weekends a year at the camp. And during the time there at the camp as a Scoutmaster and Scout leader, I've observed many youths and adults taking advantage of the property. So it's the behavior and activity around the camp is good. And we've never seen any negative impact on the camp's neighbors. So these are 4 very positive letters in support.
It's worth pointing out, however, that none of these people are abutters, nor do any of them live on Pine Street. So the nostalgia is touching, but doesn't really bear on, I think all of us are in favor of a nice facility for the Scouts or whomever they think are appropriate users. The question is that the right place to put it? And I know that the applicants have made great efforts to reduce the visibility of the building, but the impact in that location will remain. I think even the applicants would admit that they're hopeful that there will be high usage. So it's going to change dramatically from the nostalgia that's referred to in the letters, where it was sort of this bucolic setting that people could wander through and enjoy in relative peace and tranquility. That's going to change. It's not within our purview to dictate where this building should be located, but I do know that the Boy Scouts own a great deal of property there, and I'm wondering if they have any accessibility from any public way, notably Willow Street or the end of Summer Street near Willow Street, where this could be located in an area that doesn't impact this narrow, small, old Yarmouth Port Road.
May I ask you a question?
Mike, sure.
Prior to March of 2019, are you aware of any complaints of the level of activity at Camp Greeno?
No,
We haven't received any either.
I
And
don't
prior,
understand. What's the relevance of the question?
well, I'm getting there.
Okay.
The relevance of the question is Camp Greeno is a very busy place. We have hundreds of people on occasion come in on the weekends. It doesn't disrupt the traffic on Pine Street. This building isn't going to do that either. It's just going to provide a place for them to gather when they get there and then go off and do their activities. And it happens frequently throughout the year. One of our biggest events happens the first weekend in June. We typically have 700-800 people in there for the weekend. And we haven't received a complaint from anybody about it. And that's an annual event. We have events in mid-May. May is one of our busiest months. Virtually every campsite is used by troops from our council and other councils. We have other activities going on, the third weekend in particular. Again, we have several hundred people in the property for the weekend, and we have no complaints. There's no traffic backups. There's no problems with that. They come in, they park their cars, they head back into the camp and do their activities. Will we have some of those groups meeting in the building out at the front of the camp? Yes, sure. But that still is meetings that are going to take place inside that facility. We run 5 weeks of Cub Scout or of day camp programs, not just Cub Scouts, but other day camp programs during the summer. On average, about 100 people a day coming in, dropping off their kids from 8 to 9 in the morning and picking them back up again between 4 and 5 in the afternoon. We have not had a complaint about traffic issues on Pine Street. And they all pick up right there at the front of the camp and leave. The problems that we have is in inclement weather. We've got no place to put those kids when they're getting dropped off. We've had to have parents detour into the camp and drive about 2 miles in a loop around to drop their children off where we do have indoor facilities. This will help eliminate that. Also, too, frequently mom gets out of the car or dad and they've got other children with them. Somebody's got to go to the bathroom. We don't have an easy place to do that right now. Those are the kinds of things, the kinds of issues this building is going to address. Will our activity at camp increase? I certainly hope so during the week, particularly. Between 9 and 3, right now, St. John Paul II High School brings out their freshman class. They've been doing this for almost 10 years for a retreat. The buses roll in between 8 and 9 in the morning, along with their staff. They bring about 100 kids, and 2:30, 3 o'clock, they all leave, and that's it. You got a handful of vehicles twice a day on Pine Street for that type of activity. I'm in and out of the camp almost every single day, at least once a day, mainly because I take my dog over there to go for a walk. Between 8 and 8 or 7:30 to 8:30, depending upon what's going on. I'm in and out of there. We don't have any other traffic Pine Street's not clogged up with traffic at that time. A couple of school buses coming and going is not going to have a huge impact. On the weekends, like I said, they get in there first thing and they get out. And we have not had a complaint. Other groups that use the camp now, I already mentioned St. John Paul High School. We have a big program, or we had been having one with Rotary International, bringing in kids from all over southeastern Massachusetts and Rhode Island. Unfortunately, I think that one's going to be history because they've been staying at Cape Cod Sea Camps and then coming to us for the day on Saturday by bus and by van. And that won't be happening, I don't think, in the future because the sea camps are no longer in existence. Heroes in Transition has brought in veterans to use our ropes course, and they brought in 50 to 60 people for a day. Riverview School comes in a couple times a year. The Yarmouth Police Department and Barnstable Police Department both come in and use our shooting ranges. Again, No complaints that we've received. And we're happy to support the community. We want to be part of the community. And while yes, we do hope for an increase in activity and the increase of usage of the property, I don't really see that this is going to create traffic jams on Pine Street and all sorts of other untoward activities.
Mike,
We can also control who comes in, who comes and who goes. We have the right to say no when people ask, and we do say no to some groups. Sorry, no, that doesn't fit. Yep.
if I may ask a question, I've never walked the property. I've seen it from the roadways, and it's got its ups and downs, and it's a big wooded area, and I love the woods. Often go hiking in woods. The section where they're going to be doing the building looks like it's a fairly flat area. Driving off of Pine Street onto it, it's flat, and it's on a section that it's not a rustic, woody part of the whole property, if you will, that all the other kinds of activities that you want to do in the woods, or camping out, or pitching a tent and so on, is in a different type of topography, terrain. And so if this is sort of a natural place to put a building like this, it seems to me. When I've driven by, it looks like there's plenty of topological variation in the rest of the property.
I agree with you 100%. That's the other thing is that's the entrance to the camp. That's where everybody comes in and gathers and then disperses to go do their activities. But we also have, numerous activities at other locations around the council. That would be nice to be able to have them in a central place, such as training volunteers on, what their job is, how to run a Cub Scout pack, how to run a scout troop. And you basically need a large open room to do that. I mean, it's not, I don't think a crazy thing. The rest of the camp, we've looked at that, and part of the issue, the other issue is that is our existing parking lot. And while we could probably fit the building someplace else where we have existing infrastructure such as water and gas and electricity and things like that, there's no place else to park. And that's one of the problems we have right now is to get to that spot, you've got to walk about a quarter mile to get to the original campus, if you will, that was built back in the 40s and 50s and 60s. Mm-hmm. That's tough to do when you got a bunch of little kids in tow and it's raining. Or even if it's a beautiful day, there's a lot that can happen in a distance of a quarter of a mile with a bunch of kids. This way we've got a spot that we can get them out of their cars or out of their buses and get them inside and get control and lay out the plan and then move on from there. So those are all the various reasons as to why we need to have, why we'd like to have this, why we think we need it, and why the location we've got was selected.
Are there any abutters present?
There are. Before I go to abutters, can I ask a consistency question for the board?
Yep.
So my question would be, is across from Elisha's Pond, there's the Wingate camp. And have we heard complaints about that? Because that's also, I can actually put that up. That's only my one concern, just for consistencies, if it decides to come up. So this is the proposed location on Pine Street, if it decides to move with me here, and then there is a camp here, and the demographics seem the same. So I just want to know if we've heard complaints about this camp as well.
Well, there's nothing proposed for that piece of property, so.
But it's used as a camp.
Right. Well, there were 2 letters in opposition that aren't on this application any longer, that were there last week. Those were by abutters. I didn't print them because I would have had to have printed 25 pages. You still have those?
I don't have that. The
I do.
one was concerned, I think, with the trees, that there weren't enough trees shielding it.
Uh-huh.
And she brought in a friend who is a landscape expert, and he made some suggestions which have been incorporated.
Okay.
Okay, so there are butters. We have one person raising their hand right now. Bob, I'll promote to a panelist. Nicole, you will be next to speak after Bob.
Is her voice working? She muted?
My guess is that is just taking a moment to reload as a panelist. There seems to be a time lapse.
Oh, okay.
Sometimes it takes longer for others, it seems like. Bob, if you unmute yourself, you could speak. Bob, you're unmuted. Are you there? I'm not sure if your audio is working. All right, I'm gonna promote you back to attendee because I don't think your audio is working, and then I will try you after we speak to Nicole. Have Nicole join.
Oh, is that your dog in the background I hear?
Is it my dog?
Yeah.
It is my dog. She's not happy.
I get introduced to my son's dog. He lives out in California, not far from the bridge there. And they got a new puppy. I forget what kind of it was, but it's all darkish gray, black, kind of charcoal. And you can't see its eyes at all. I don't know how it walks or sees around, but it's just a bundle of fur.
Yeah, mine's the same way. She needs a haircut. Come here.
Nicole, can you speak? You're unmuted.
Yes, good evening. I have just a few questions. I just wanted to speak more about what John Stewart and Robert Wilkins said earlier. You guys mentioned just about the functionality of this area, and I have concerns on what this place will be used for. Will there be any weddings and large meetings for people other than the Boy Scouts? And will there be any alcohol served here? And what are the hours of operations?
Well, Mike would have to answer those questions.
Yeah, I'm happy to answer those. I don't think they're appropriate for this meeting, but no, there won't. Well, I should like qualify that. We have had 3 weddings at Camp Reno. They were all people that were affiliated with scouting, and they wanted to have the ceremony there. There was no alcohol at those meetings, with those functions, and they were for, to use the term probably poorly, but anyway, our scouting family. As far as other groups, just renting it out for anybody to have a wedding reception there. I think the thing you need to understand is we have this thing called unrelated business income, and we take that very seriously. We have to follow that, and that then creates a taxable event for us, and it's not worth it, frankly. That kind of thing it doesn't make sense, because what you end up paying in taxes, there goes all of your profits. So no, that kind of thing won't happen, with the exception of, it's if one of our volunteers wants to, have their wedding at the chapel, and it's primarily, a significant scouting presence there, I don't know why we wouldn't approve that, as we have done in the past. And if they wanted to have the reception at the in the dining hall that we have now, I don't know why we would deny that either, under the same rules that we operate on now. But there's limits on those facilities. It's just how many people are allowed in and all that kind of stuff anyway. So I think that's I don't think there's anything really for anyone to worry about with that. Like I said, we have done those in the past. As far as just, are we going to be advertising to come hold your wedding reception here? No, we're not going to do that. That's not the type of thing we're here for. We're there to support things that support comprehensive youth development by and large, and other civic causes. So that's who's going to be using the building. Like I mentioned, those other groups that everyone tends to be very suspect of: Rotary International, St. John Paul II High School, Riverview School, Barnstable Police Department, and so on. Those are the examples of the other organizations that we have using the property now, and we would encourage other like organizations to see if there's something we can do to help them create a better experience for kids.
I would add on to that for the regulatory process is that for a use of property for such entertainment or for alcohol would actually have to seek a special license for that through the ABC, through Yarmouth. So I just want that to be known. Again, that's not something that falls under the purview of this board, but they would have to go through another regulatory process and licensure process for that.
Okay, did you have someone else there?
Yeah,
I just have another question.
Yes, Nicole.
Okay, thank you. Is there this has to do with lighting, that's why I'm bringing it up. Is there like a time limit if something like a function that if it's being used other than scouting for Rotary Club or weddings, is there a time limit like when things have to close? That pertains to like lighting is why I'm asking. To the lighting of the building and the parking lot?
That would also be a question for zoning for the use of building about what they would allow in a setting such as this. So if it's residential versus commercial, that's something that I wouldn't be able to answer to. I just know that there's a licensing ABC authority that exists for alcohol and entertainment and special licenses under regulatory process. As far as the lighting goes, I am not aware.
How late do functions go at this place currently? Does it close at 9, 10?
Well, we're there 24/7. In some cases, weekend camping. We come in Friday night and they're there till Sunday mid-morning, early afternoon sometimes. But as far as the parking lot goes, and I do believe our lighting engineer is with us, and he submitted a lighting plan and all that kind of thing. Our intention is to take advantage of technology and use smart fixtures that can be programmed, that can be on motion detectors and things like that. If we've got a group of people in the camp for the weekend and they've got their cars in the parking lot, and somebody has an emergency and has to leave at 2 a.m, we do want them to be able to find their car without getting hurt. So, but that's the advantage of the motion detectors and things like that, that they can head out to the car lights come on so they can find their vehicle and leave, and they'll be set to go off after that happens. Generally, we don't keep the place lit up. We have a light on our sign right now, 24/7, and a couple of the other buildings that are the ways off the parking lot have dusk to dawn lights on them. But I'm thinking with this one, we won't need to do that, and we'll probably change those at the same time.
So the parking lot will have motion detection lights?
That's what I understand. I mean, again, Bruce is our lighting guy here that can address that much more proficiently than I can, for sure.
Mike, who is your lighting engineer?
Bruce.
Bruce is, okay. I just
Bruce
wanted
Hamilton arranged, our architect arranged for that. I'm not even sure what the.
okay, I just wanted to make sure I had all the agents promoted.
So I just want to make it clear that the concerns are, since it's a commercial building and a multi-purpose building, that the use was going to increase dramatically, and for things other than scouting. So I think Mike has answered those questions, those concerns satisfactorily. I'm not convinced those the size of and use is as appropriate for this location. It seems to me like it's going to not be appropriate in setting in place, which is what we as Architectural Review Board consider. While the building, you've done everything that they've asked. I'm sorry, I missed the last 2 meetings, so I didn't get to have any input in that. But I was here for the first one, and it's just changed so much since the first informational meeting that we had, that it's put a lot of people on edge. If you understand, like, it's a quiet street.
Good.
Okay, we have several other abutters that are raising hands. Let's see, we will try Bob again. Okay, and then Gio Keller, I'm promoting you because he's here for lighting. I apologize, I didn't promote you sooner.
Yeah, it's George. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Hi.
Hi, good evening. Yeah, I just wanted to make a comment about the lighting or answer any questions I could as far as what Mike was saying for being smart technology and the lighting that we picked out in the original design. We changed it after I met and we spoke, and he expressed some of the concerns about the abutters and having too much light, etc. So we have technology that allows the lights to be fully programmable from a smartphone, believe it or not. And what we can do is we can take a light that puts out 100% of its light, and through the smartphone actually program it to dim it down to a very low level if you would like, which I would recommend, by the way. I think people overlight everything personally, but have the ability so that what Mike had mentioned, if you have an emergency or something and you need the lights up, when it senses motion, it will come up to 100% full bright. And then when the motion goes away, you can program it a multitude of ways, but the most common way would be after X amount of minutes, it would go down to a lower level, let's say from 100% to 30%. And then it would wait a few more minutes, and if it detects no motion again, it could go full off. And it'll stay off until there's some motion underneath that fixture to signal it to turn on. But you have thresholds where you could, if there was too much light after the design, and someone said, we feel there's too much light here, can you turn it down? This technology, you actually can, and it's very easy to do. So it's very flexible and it would be very conscious to use something like this in this situation.
Can it be shielded so as to not shine into the abutters' yards?
Yeah, there's a couple different ways to achieve that. And there's a couple of different designs to achieve that. And we've looked at it a couple of different ways. I don't know if this would be appropriate tonight to speak to it or not. But the design, I don't know if it was submitted or not, but the one that we have now is a single pole in the middle with 4 heads. And that's it to light the entire parking lot. So it will go out, but we have a thing called a photometric report, which has been done. And I'm sure, I assume it's been shared, and it'll show where the light actually stops and there's a 0 level of light at that particular spot, which is all just off the parking lot. So it won't travel into the street or across the street like the old technology would. The advantage of LED, it's very directional because it's a pinpoint source. You actually aim the LEDs versus the old style lamp that bounces all around inside a fixture and goes in multiple directions.
Oh, that's great.
The design that was shown appears that it's mostly a down lighting
Right.
situation.
It is, but you have to understand, and this is not meant to be a wise comment, but I deal with this a lot. And indoor lighting, outdoor lighting, people will say, well, when I look at it, it's bright or it's glary. And I just kind of usually take my head and put it down a little bit. And I say, well, there's an easy way to fix that. Don't look at it. Any light, I don't care if it's 40 years ago or today, when you look at a light source, there's going to be light emitting from it. So, but you have the ability to turn this one down. And a lot of the requirements, in my opinion, are too high for what is recommended by the IES. And this will give you this particular fixture will give you the ability to turn that way down to an acceptable level. So if you look at that particular print, it's a little difficult to see. There's a lot of numbers on there, but I guess for those that don't really understand what's going on, the simplest way to do it without giving a lighting lesson here, you'll see red colors and then you'll see the blue colors. And where those blue colors are has a light level of 0. So there is no light there.
So it won't bother the railroad tracks either.
And I'm not familiar, I haven't been to the space, but I see where the road is and where the entryway is. You'll notice that that's all blue. So there is no light there. So you won't have lights on all night long or whatever hours of operation there is at the entryway. There literally is not any light at that particular, so the headlights of the cars obviously is going to get you in till you go around that corner. And then you'll see there's a very low level of light.
Good.
It seems to me that the sticking point is still the use of the building. I don't know how to get to the bottom of that, but if that's still the basic problem, then I don't know, how is that going to be solved?
Not up to us, really. I think what most of the complaints I've heard were they were worried about the volume of use, or the number of people, or the traffic on the narrow road. If you're bringing full-size buses in from Route 6A, they wouldn't be able to make the turn onto onto Pine Street. I have a medium-sized pickup truck and I end up in the other lane, taking that right. When we're heading east.
He said buses go in there already.
I think they come from the other direction.
We can certainly instruct groups that would be using buses, they need to come in from the south. Or it would be easier for them to come in from the south, but we've had them come from all directions. I mean, that's, you know, we can certainly recommend for their ease of transportation that, you know, themselves.
If you Google directions, you can get 2 different ways in, and one of them seems kind of roundabout from exit 8, but it's vastly superior from coming down than to come down Route 6 and go up Pine Street in the narrow section. If it was a full-size bus, I don't know about a school bus.
I think that, again, just coming from a regulatory standpoint, is that we just need to be careful about how we evaluate this, coming from an objective historic preservationist view, looking at this and how a use impacts a historic district. My questions revolve around how that changes the setting and the place. My question is that if we're going to ask these questions, how would this use be any different from having functions at a church or a restaurant? You know, they did have taverns, they did have weddings, and therefore, that is my question on the historic district. When it comes to volume, traffic patterns, whether something commercial can be in a residential area, that is a zoning board of appeals question, and that's nothing that we have purview here. So I just want to make sure that the evaluation is based off how the historic setting in place would be evaluated based on this and changed, if any.
Right.
Right.
That brings me back to my question, which is there any accessibility from Willow Street that could be considered as an alternative entryway to this building?
Not from Willow.
What about Summer?
Same thing. There's no access over there. We're talking building roads and all that kind of stuff. No, we actually don't even abut Summer Street. We abut Old Hyannis. Well, we don't even, the very south end of Old Hyannis Road, we abut. But,
right.
It looks like Bob was able to get his camera. I don't know if his microphone is. We still can't hear you, but if you type out, I could perhaps read it. I know you have your first comment here that he said on Myrtle Lane and Balsam, right near Access Road, and he has had 2 issues with cars parking on Hairpin Turn and on his property. Also a trail approximately 30 feet from my property line. However, in 12 years that we've been here, we have been happy to have the Boy Scouts in their camp. Many positive experiences. Unfortunately, my microphone is not working.
So is the building that's there now a commercial building?
No building.
What building are we referring to?
The one large building that's there. Yeah, I looked. All I could see were small buildings. There's one larger one.
There's a building there's a building to the north of the parking lot that's about 1,200 square feet. It's a pretty much looks like a small ranch house. It's available for, well, once we get through the pandemic, it'll be available again for troops and other like-minded groups to use for. Often they'll use it for weekend camping. It's got sleeping areas and a small kitchen and restrooms in it. We have used it for some training, adult leader training programs and things like that, but it's very small. The main room in it is about 30 by 20, I think. So it has a good use. We do use it frequently, but it's just, like I said, very small.
Good. Well, it's hard to get everybody commenting from the outside community. We've had quite sufficient, I think. I think we should think in terms of making a motion and seeing how it goes from there.
What are we moving on, Richard?
Well, if you make a motion to approve, that will be a motion that someone will have to second.
I'm not clear on what we're moving on. What,
The application in its.
The application, in terms of the design of the structure, the location, the landscape plan, the lighting plan,
Right.
all together as a composite. Does it look good to us? Does it look appropriate for the area? Does it fit into the landscape? And
I think the building and what they've done landscaping wise and the type of lighting they're going to use or plan to use, I like all of that. If there's further discussion on use, I don't know.
Mhm.
I don't know. I don't know where to go about that.
Yeah, and I think that the Boy Scouts have listened to our feedback during numerous meetings.
Yep.
And have made revisions to their original plans. They've done research on other historic buildings within Yarmouthport. And my sense is that they've been very cooperative. And as far as the concerns about it becoming some sort of wedding hall or something, it doesn't sound like that's within their own
interest.
Charter.
Yeah.
Is, if I understand Mike Riley correctly. So based on that, I think that we should move to approve as submitted.
Do I have a second? Well, I don't usually, but I would be willing to second this.
I'll second it, Paula.
Good, thank you, Paula. Good, then all in favor of this project as it has evolved and become an interesting looking one. All in favor? Rosemary Nichols,
Aye.
John Stewart,
Nay.
Bob Wilkins,
Abstain.
and Paula Morrison,
Aye.
and Richard Gegenwart, aye. So we have a majority vote, and it will pass. So when will this project get underway, do you think, Mike?
How many different boards do we have to go for after this?
Yeah, I suppose 2 or 3. Hopefully they'll go faster. But
Well, I want to say thank you very much. And I appreciate your dedication to your mission. I do hope that you will believe that we tend to be sincere and true to our mission also. And that is what the building is going to be used for. That's what Camp Greeno has been used for since 1943. And we expect it to be continue to be used for that same mission for a long time to come. So
great.
Thank you
Good.
again.
Yeah, we're happy that you guys are here for us. The Boy Scouts of America has gotten a lot of problems that they've been facing all over the country. And it's good to see that here on Cape Cod, it's alive. I'm an old life member from 70 years ago. So it's good to see it's working here. Thank you all for your efforts to put this together in such a way that we find it acceptable.
Thank you again.
Good, Mike. If you're going to make any changes, let us know. We'll keep in touch.
We'll do that.
Thank you.
Good night.
Good night now. Okay, now we have minutes. We have minutes for 5-6 meetings. And these were sent out a week or so ago. And everyone's had time to read through them. Aside from a minor typos here or there, everything seemed to work pretty well.
Actually, I had just two minor changes. One was on the December 14th, item number 3. It says the application was improperly notified, and I think it should probably be the applicant.
Oh, yeah, right.
The application was, so what happened was that there was a shortcoming with the project description for the application. So the application itself was improperly notified so that the abutters did not know what the application was about. The applicant knew the meeting, but they couldn't go because the legal notice was incorrect.
I don't know that notified is, I don't think an application can be notified.
Oh, you don't notify applications.
No. And the other thing was on the October 26th meeting, on item 20-A-091. And again, maybe it's word usage. The application was not notified to abutters. I think that.
Yeah, yeah, that's just me going quickly through it. I should have just said that the abutters weren't notified about the application.
Yeah,
it's
just minor stuff.
But yeah, I'll make those amendments. I appreciate it because
it's a lot of work. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. I appreciate it. Going back and looking at it time and time again, it all starts running together.
Yeah, I had one that I mentioned already offline to Grace about, which was item 7 on the agenda for the 14th of December, where she forgot to mention this Jacques Lapointe, who actually owns a business, Pleasant Bay Homes. So she was going to insert that.
So I have to apologize, but I haven't had the opportunity to read any of these, and I'm fading fast here, guys. So I'm going to check out if it's okay with everyone else. Unless you need.
Okay,
all right. I kind of need to time past my bedtime here.
Okay.
All right.
Glad you were here tonight.
Yeah. Kind of pushing the limit here. So thanks.
Good.
Thanks, John.
Good night, John.
So we're down to 7 participants at this point.
Yeah. Is everyone aware that John's been in the hospital for the
I was
last?
just going to mention that.
Okay.
No.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, John got bitten by a tick or something.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
And they were trying to find out if he had Lyme disease or what. And he's had all kinds of crazy things, and he's going through a lot of pain. And so to all my Christian friends that do a lot of praying, we should pray for John that he gets through this and they
absolutely
diagnose him properly.
Sure.
Fix him up.
Yeah, ticks are serious problems, serious.
Yeah, he was over my house a few days ago and we talked about it. So, do we have to go down each one of these minutes, A, B, C, D, E, F? Or
There
can
could
we do
be,
a blanket approval now that we've all commented on each one?
a motion could be made to, if the committee feels fit, A through F to be approved, and then you could just add that it's, revised and
The
changes are made.
modifications that we suggested.
If you
I
feel
think
so.
blanket sounds like a good idea to me at this time.
I'm with you.
You're ready for a blanket.
Okay.
All right.
So someone proposed it and someone seconded that. And I'll ask all those in favor. Paula Morrison.
Hi.
Aye. Rosemary Nichols.
Aye.
Aye. Bob Wilkins.
Aye.
And Richard Gegenwarth. Aye.
Yay.
Good. Okay. It's an interesting meeting. Oddly enough, the one from last week that was tabled, 20 Fortuna was tabled at the last meeting because of a glitch. And now they didn't show up. They couldn't make it tonight. So that's ongoing. And no, it wasn't Fortune.
No, they were approved this evening.
Which one was it? Number 2.
34 Railroad. They couldn't make it tonight.
34 Railroad. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
New one.
that's right.
I had a question. That is my street. Do I have to recuse myself because I know her?
If you know her personally, if it would
Well, I've met her. I don't hang with her. She's a neighbor.
You live on 34? Or
Yes, I'm 2 houses down from her.
But you're not a direct abutter.
I'm not.
I think you're good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Good. Okay. So we only had 2 things on the agenda for our next meeting, right?
Now we don't.
Now
now we have 4.
4? 4. Yeah, 1 carried off. Good. Okay, so that makes it worthwhile doing. So, okay. I think the meeting went pretty well.
Are you going to make a motion to adjourn?
Not me.
Just comment on, I don't want to take up a lot of time, but a couple of violations I'd like to comment on briefly. First of all, Wharf Lane, 36 Wharf Lane. A lot of good things have happened there. One of the things that we mandated is apparently not going to happen. They have aligned the door with the pediment of the portico. They are not going, apparently, they are not going to move the windows. So that will not be in alignment as we suggested. However, the really good news is the rock has been buried. So that is no longer
No way. Really?
the monstrous thing that had been there. And the bad news is the house on the corner of Vesper and 6A, they obviously have no intention of complying. So, and we haven't even gotten to the more serious problem. We've only been trying to get them to change the plastic fence, and they are evidently not going to do it. So,
Well, and it's become, it's certainly a lot more visible now that the abundance of roses have faded away.
And we have
So what do you do in that case if somebody refuses to do something?
That's a building enforcement. So if you find that there's a violation and a notice has been sent, a second notice is usually sent after that if they don't plan to comply. And after that, it's enforceable through a fine.
Oh.
Yeah, and they haven't even dealt with the more serious issue, in my view, the more serious issue, which is the pool fence, which was supposed to be 15 feet back from the street, and it's 9 feet back from the street, and they, for some inexplicable reason, put the evergreens on the inside of the fence and the deciduous plantings on the outside. So,
yeah.
So there's that. But, you know, small steps ahead and occasional steps backwards, I guess.
Yeah.
number Vesper was that?
20.
What is it? It's on the northeast corner of Vesper and 6A.
I can also look back at the past violation letter. That's
The address is 6A, isn't it?
I think it's 6A address, yes.
It is.
111 or something, 114.
Well, I could probably find it here somewhere.
I'll look back in our letter inventory too to see where we've sent it.
All right.
My building.
Yeah, the front of the house is on 6A. The side goes
All
down.
right, I've almost got it here, kids. Hold on. Hang on.
So isn't it up to us to send the second letter then? Or I thought that a second letter had been sent to their address, their local address, their address in New Jersey or somewhere.
See if I have it when they're ready. Is this a 2020 violation, I'm assuming? Not a 2019?
Yeah, 2020.
2020. It may have gone down to May timeframe. So, do you have your money on Alabama or Ohio?
Game's probably half over by now.
This says 112. Is that possible?
Yep.
That's what I have.
That's it. Yep.
112, okay.
Good job, Paula. By the way, I thought you were outstanding tonight. I would like to put that on the record. So.
Well, thank you very much, Bob. I'm a neophyte here. I'm nervous every time I open my mouth.
Oh, you did your homework, and I'm proud of you, Paula.
Well, thank you so much, and I like your new car.
Well, thank you. We could toss around all kinds of other kudos. Who wants a kudo?
What did he get?
I'll toss a kudo.
You got a new Volvo.
Yeah.
Have we adjourned yet?
No. No.
I'll move to adjourn.
I'll second.
Okay.
All in favor? Paula,
Aye.
Rosemary,
Aye.
Bob,
Aye.
Grace.
I'm not a voting member.
All right. Good night, all.
Okay, we're getting
Good
slapped.
night.